Real quick, just wanted to talk about property tax exemptions for veterans and for disabled veterans. Um, these are one of the things that when I came across, it was awesome. Um, just the information when I researched all of this was just incredible to me. And then other veterans that I have spoken about property tax exemptions. Oh my God, it's just amazing. Obviously, to me, buying a home, it's not a great investment. I'll talk about that in another video. I bought one just based on my situation, but if not, I would have kept. I should have kept renting, or I should have bought a condo or whatever. But I'll talk about that in another video. Um, what I want to talk about is just this amazing information that I came across over a year ago, and I put it to the test. And then I came across another veteran whose husband was 100% PNT disabled, um, service connected, and she's a veteran. And I believe she was on her way out. She was getting medically discharged. But again, I'll pass on the information that I came across, and it was verified. Put it to the test, and it was good to go. So the alternative veterans exemption form. This is available on only on residential property of a veteran who has served during a designated time of war or has received an expeditionary medal. Currently available in over 95% of the county, city, town, and village taxation jurisdiction across the state. This is for New York. I'm talking about right now for New York. The remainder of these jurisdictions may choose to offer these exemptions in the future. This exemption in the future. School districts also have the option to offer this exemption. Veteran applicants should check with the assessor or clerk in the municipalities in which they respectively reside to see whether the alternative veterans exemption is offered. And this is authorized by Real Property Tax Law Section 458 Alpha. Now, going into the alternative veterans exemption, the benefits for it: 15% reduction in assessed value to a veterans who served during a time of war. This means that, from what was explained to me, it could be 90% off. Well, not 90%. I apologize. $90,000 off of what your assessed value of your property. So there's the assessment of your property, and there's the property. How can I explain? So there's assessment, and then there's the it'll come back to me later. But the assessment of the house will be higher than what the market value. There you go. I apologize. So market value, and then the property assessment. So the assessment will probably be, mine is higher than my market value. So that's $90,000 off of my property assessment. So an additional 10% reduction in assessed value to veterans serving in combat zones. So for me, I believe that was another 45,000 off. And then additional reduction in assessed value to veterans who incur service-connected disabilities, which was another 90,000. Or was it 90,000? I apologize. It might be I think 45,000. So obviously I'm 100%. I get 50% uh, added onto my assessment. Then another 10% reduction and another 15%. So I don't get 50% added. I'm sorry. I get 50% reduction, another 15% reduction, and another 10% reduction. Um, and then um, the way that would work out is whatever the reduction is. So you get 90 plus 45 plus 45. That would give me a total of $180,000 less. So if my property value was let's say 360,000, so it's 90 90 180, right? So 360 it would be around $180,000 left, obviously. Sorry, that was a brain fart, mathematical brain fart. So it's $180,000 left on the assessment. That means that I can only get taxed on $180,000 of my assessed property value. That means that my my taxes will go down. Now, it doesn't mean that my taxes, your taxes will get cut in half. It also depends on the maximum level that depending on the county that you're in or the town that you're in. So my town, I believe I only paid 3,200 in property tax, not talking about school tax, just property tax, 3,200. I believe only what comes off is $600. So you guys may think of it as not much, but it's still something at the end of the year. It's still something, still helps you out. Now, the other thing I wanted to explain before I move on to other states, is that, oh well, before I move on to the other exemptions in New York, um, what I wanted to talk about is double dipping. Double dipping. So let's say your spouse is also a veteran, and they're disabled. Both of you guys can apply for the put in the paper for alternative veterans exemption. You guys need proof of the of your disability, so you can go get that at e-benefits. Print out the proof, submit it with your alternative veterans exemptions, submit it in also with your DD 214. Once you do all of that, then it gets accepted, and you guys get to double dip. So it would be 600 on mine, and on top of that, another 600. It'd be $1,200 off. That's what I believe. I haven't gotten the paperwork yet, so I'll keep you guys updated in regards to this. But it just amazed me at the whole double dipping. Uh, I just think it's great information. People should take advantage of that. Now, let's go. Well, no. Before I do that, let's backtrack a little bit right here. For Cold War veterans, you get 10 to 15% reduction in assessed value. Additional reduction for veterans who incur service-connected disabilities equal to one half of the service-connected disability rating Cold War period. Notes: percentage level benefits are subject to a maximum dollar limits, and the exemption is limited to 10 years in duration unless the taxation jurisdiction has acted to make it indefinite. The disability exemption benefit portion has no time limit. So again, with the alternative veterans exemption, that stays with you until you move and want to apply to another property. With the Cold War veterans, it seems like there's a limited 10 years in duration in regards to this. The next one, I believe, is eligible funds exemption. This is a partial exemption. The eligible funds exemption reduces the assessed value of a property that a veteran purchased with eligible funds, typically up to a maximum of $7,500 that the veteran received upon discharge from active duty. So if you received a maximum of 7,500, you could use it with a veteran's pension, or that maximum 7,500, or bonus or insurance monies, or dividends or refunds on such insurance, compensation paid to prisoners of war, mustering out pay. If the taxing jurisdiction offering the eligible funds exemption decides at a later date to adopt alternative veterans exemption, it can't grant any further eligible funds exception. So it's one or the other, guys. So this is typically what I wanted to explain. So veterans who own the following are also eligible for vacant property leased to others, where the eligible funds exemption is available. The following individuals who are also eligible are all persons who rendered military or naval services to the United States at any time. Certain individuals who served in the World War II or in the U.S. Merchant Marines, those who served in a civilian capacity during World War II, the American Field Service, as a flight crew and aviation ground support employee of Pan American Airlines contract with the Air Transport Command. This is all for New York State, guys. All for New York State. Now let's move on real quick. The reason why I go to military benefits info is because this is where they explain every state. This is all the information. So I'm gonna go real quick to Ohio. Let's go to Ohio. I'm a big Buckeye fan. So Ohio. Here we go. Ohio property tax exemptions. 100% service-connected disabled Ohio veterans may be eligible for property tax exemption up to $50,000 for primary residence. Surviving spouses of qualifying veterans may be also eligible to apply if they inherit or otherwise own the home eligible for the exemption. Kind of sucks. But let's go to the rivals that stayed up north, which is Michigan. Michigan property tax exemption. VA rated 100% disabled veterans in Michigan may receive a full property tax exemption on primary residence. This break also applies to those who are rated individually unemployable and those who receive assistance due to the disability for specially adapted housing. Again, this website explains every property tax exemption for every state. I will be posting this under the YouTube channel. All right, guys. Well, under the video. All right, guys. Take care. Follow me at the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Like, comment the video, and follow my Instagram account at CombatVetVlogger. Also, if you have any questions, email me at CombatVetVlogger@gmail.com. If you have any information, pass it on, comment on the video, or email me. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one.